For more than a decade, viewers have watched gold rush crews chase ounces, fix endless breakdowns, and push themselves to the edge of exhaustion. But lately, a much bigger conversation has taken over the fan community. Are the miners on the show actually earning what they're worth? Or is there a huge disconnect between what the show brings in and what the people on the ground actually take home? Today, we're breaking down one of the most debated questions in gold rush history and why the argument refuses to go away. This discussion really exploded because of how massive Gold Rush has become. It's one of the Discovery Channel's top franchises, airing in dozens of countries, pulling in millions of viewers, and generating revenue through ads, reruns, streaming, merchandise, and sponsorships. Fans see this huge global machine and naturally assume the miners must be making big money too. But as soon as someone scratches beneath the surface, that assumption becomes a lot more complicated. And that's where the controversy begins. One of the biggest points fans argue about is the work these miners do. They're not acting, they're not reading scripts, and they're not sitting in a studio. They're running heavy machines in freezing rain, dodging breakdowns, working 14-hour shifts, and risking injuries every single day. Viewers see dozer blades curling frozen dirt, fuel trucks steaming in the cold, and rock frozen so hard it snaps steel. Naturally, people ask, shouldn't this level of danger come with a higher paycheck? But Gold Rush isn't like other reality shows. On some series, cast members are paid like performers. On Gold Rush, many of the people on camera are actual workers running a real operation. Their pay can vary wildly depending on who they work for, what their role is, and how each mining boss structures their crew. Some get salaries, some get a cut of the gold, some receive bonuses, some get perks or incentives tied to production. The numbers are never made public, and that lack of transparency is the gasoline on this entire debate. Another thing fans bring up is how the show portrays financial stress. We constantly see crews scrambling for fuel money, panicking over breakdowns, and fighting to keep their season alive. That leads viewers to wonder, if the show is doing well, why is the crew still struggling? Are these moments exaggerated for drama? Or are the miners truly feeling the pinch while the show brings in far more revenue behind the scenes? No one knows for sure, and the speculation just keeps growing. Then there's the question of network involvement. Gold Rush is an expensive show to produce. Multiple crews, multiple filming units, travel costs, safety teams, housing, editing, gear, and everything else that comes with filming in the middle of nowhere. Some fans argue that after covering all those costs, there may not be as much left over as people imagine. Others believe the show brings in enough that miners should be paid more regardless. Both sides have decent points, and that's part of why the argument never ends. What really fuels the conversation is the mystery. Except for a few vague comments over the years, miners rarely talk about their pay. It's private, it's in their contracts. And reality TV contracts are not something people casually discuss online. That silence creates a vacuum, and fans fill that vacuum with their own theories. Some believe the miners are underpaid. Some think they're compensated extremely well, but can't say it. Some think the pay varies drastically from miner to miner. Without actual numbers, nobody can prove anything. But there's one more angle fans don't always consider: opportunity. Gold Rush has turned regular miners into global personalities. Some crew members have built businesses, started YouTube channels, joined new crews, or launched mining ventures of their own because they became recognizable faces. The exposure itself becomes a form of earning potential, one that doesn't show up on camera, but affects their real-world income long after filming ends. Of course, exposure doesn't change the core debate. Fans still want to know whether the miners on screen are being paid fairly for the work, the risk, and the revenue they help generate. It's not an unreasonable question. When viewers see massive gold hauls, million-dollar equipment fleets, and seasons where tens of thousands of yards of dirt are processed, they want to understand where everyone stands financially: the bosses, the crews, and the network. So are Gold Rush miners underpaid, Overpaid? Properly paid? The truth is that nobody outside the miners and producers can say for certain, and that's exactly why this conversation never dies. When you take a real mining operation, turn it into a global television phenomenon, and keep the financial details behind closed doors, the theories write themselves. In the end, Gold Rush fans will probably always debate this. They care about the people on screen. They root for them. They follow their struggles, their victories, their heartbreaks, and their seasons. And they want to know those miners aren't risking everything for less than they deserve. Whether that's actually the case is something only the miners and the network will ever truly know. So what do you think? Are the Gold Rush crews being paid fairly for what they put on the line? Or is there a bigger gap between what the show earns and what the miners take home? Drop your take in the comments, because this debate is far from over.